Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. Remember that there had been an altercation between former governor of Rivers State and now the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, and his godson, Sim Fubara. And I will show you a video. There's a video at the end of this video that you should watch, with which some people are using to claim or to allege that Fubara is not Ijaw. But I beg to disagree, because I have studied the history of Opobo, where he came from or where he comes from. And the history of Opobo is the history of Ijaw. And of course, you cannot write that history without talking about King Jaja of Opobo, the Igbo slave that founded a kingdom. It was a classic case of from rag to riches situation. Nobody can wish away the fact of King Jaja of Opobo being from the present day Imo State. And he was instrumental in making Opobo what it is to the outside world, because King Jaja of Opobo rattled the white man to the level that he was controlling the oil river. When you hear about the oil river, it is not because of crude oil. The coastline of that area had been known for palm oil trade between the people of coastal Nigeria and the Europeans. King Jaja of Opobo stopped the white man from going hinterland. He was like a middleman. He said, you are a white man, you come from wherever you come from, but you can't enter the hinterland. So King Jaja of Opobo was controlling trade. He was a multi-billionaire in present, if you are to quantify his wealth. So there is Igbo lineage in the Opobo, but basically it was a history of Ijaw and all other ethnic groups that embodied it. That's by the way. Now, since the altercation with his godfather, that's Fubara, and his godfather Nyesom Wike, the group that has stood solidly behind Fubara had always been the Ijaw nation. The Ijaw people had seen Fubara as one of their own, and in several instances they have thrown their support to him. They stood by him like the rock of Gibraltar in his fight with Nyesom Wike. And of course, it's understandable, since 1999, when this nation entered this republic we are in, no Ijaw person has ever been the governor of Rivers State. So Fubara emerging from Opobo as governor and an Ijaw person, they are likely, it's not unusual for them to see that nobody rocks the boat, and their son kicked out of power. So that's why it's expected, and nobody can quarrel with that this is an opportunity for them to be governor, and then somebody is trying to play hanky-panky or games with the mandate given to their son. Okay, it's just similar thing that is happening right now in Nigeria. The North cannot complain again about the state of the nation because They didn't complain when Buhari was there for 8 years. So they have to be careful whatever they will say. What they didn't say under Buhari, the people will tackle them if they say it now. And it's expected that the Southwest, having Tinubu there, of course I know that there are many Southwest who doesn't support Tinubu. But I can tell you for free, if there is anybody now that threatens to impeach Tinubu from office, the Southwest will be the rallying point in fighting against that person. Now, because of this solid support that Fubara is enjoying from the Ijaw nation, of course, unsolicited, I don't think he begged them to come and be behind, but it's natural occurrence in Nigerian politics that your home base are likely to be the people that will rally around you. So, Nyesom Wike, you remember, had complained about the people ethnicizing the altercation between him and Fubara. That some people didn't ask questions, that they began to ethnicize it. It was against the so-called ethnicization of the whole thing. And that was because the Ijaws were frontal in their perceived protection of Fubara in the fight between him and his Godfather. Apparently, as been reported, Nyesom Wike, in the tradition of politicians of divide and conquer, said somewhere that some people suggested that Fubara is not Ijaw. In other words, if Fubara is not Ijaw, those who are ethnicizing or who are now taking him as one of their own, they better be careful what they are doing. Okay? But he didn't say that himself does not know that he is Ijaw, but he said that some people are saying that Fubara is not Ijaw. And that was when the elders, Ijaw nation, elders of Ijaw, rose up to tackle him. And we are going to see what the Ijaw nation said. But it's also a reminder to all of us how politicians are always the first to bring up ethnic division, but meanwhile pretend as if they are the ones that are against it. But when it suits them, because let's say, for example, if it could be confirmed that Fubara is not Ijaw, then all this support, this solid support he's enjoying among the Ijaws, is going to literally evaporate. And then they will see him ordinarily as ordinary riversman or whatever. But there's a video I will show you, as I said earlier, I don't know what I said earlier, that I will show you at the end of this video, where people are using, Fubara was campaigning. And they say, okay, this is proof that he is not Ijaw. But that I don't accept that proof. But it is interesting for you to listen to Fubara at the end of this video so that you can be able to make up your mind about it. Because from all I can see, Fubara by his name is Ijaw, and being from Opobo, and Opobo is a mixed bag of ethnicities, but it is largely an Ijaw nation. Because when I studied the King Jaja of Opobo for the book that I wrote, which is on Amazon, The Igbo Phenomenon, he was one of the characters that I studied for that book. Okay, so I was able to study his lineage from Imo State and how he later from being a slave to becoming a king. Okay, but I believe that if you go to Opobo now, there will be people speaking different languages. Okay, but certainly you can't say that Fubara is not Ijaw, from my own understanding of the situation. Now, Nyesom Wike has been tackled by the elders or the leaders of thought, Ijaw leaders of thought. They have told Nyesom Wike that Opobo is part of Ijaw. Now, let us examine what they have to say. But this, as I said earlier on, is part of strategy to divide, to separate Fubara from his Ijaw people. Now, Ijaw leaders of thought has dismissed as untrue impression that Opobo, hometown of Governor Sim Fubara of Rivers State, is not Ijaw. Speaking against the backdrop of a fragmentary reference of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Chief Nyesom Wike, at an event in Rivers State, that some persons had said Opobo people were not Ijaw. The Ijaw leaders, in a statement in Warri, Delta State, and signed by the duo of Comrades Jackson Abo, chairman, and Moses Omere, said the account was like twisting historical facts. The group further condemned the comment by the minister, stressing that as a former governor of Rivers State, he was in the right position to know the historical ties of various ethnic groups in the state, adding that the reference he made at such event on opinions by others was unnecessary. The group said, the Ijaw leader said, all Ijaws are aware of their ethnic identity. All Ijaws are aware of their ethnic identity will agree that almost all other parts of Ijaw land, almost all parts of Ijaw had their dispersal from the central delta, where Bayelsa currently occupies. Like the men in Delta State, Tarakere in Bayelsa State, and Kalabari in Rivers State, the Ibani Bonny people migrated from Ibadi Creek, Central Delta, most significant dispersal center, which was the most significant dispersal center. The ancestry of Ibani is undisputable, is undisputably traced to Kola Okan, the epigenous ancestor of the ancient Kolokuma Kingdom of Bayelsa State. One of the undisputed sons of Kola Okunu is Isa Dani and Ibani. These are directly from this bloodline. Is directly from this bloodline. One of the undisputed sons of Kola Okun is Isedani, and Ibani is directly from this bloodline. Perhaps those interested in the details should go on a fact-finding mission to Bonny to know that Jaja, who led the migrant group from Bonny to establish the Opobo in 1869, was the head of Ane People House of Bonny and a direct descendant of King Opobo. Opobo and Fubara were brothers from a union between King Perekule and Okuru, the daughter of a previous king, Amakre. Perekuru, that's Pepu, became king of Bonny around 1895, and Fubara and Opobo succeeded him. Precisely, Fubara ascended the throne in 1792. Kingship in Bonny still resides with the lineage of Perekure. Bonny, from where Opobo migrated, is still known as Okoloba in the Kolokuma axis of Bayelsa State. As stated before, the Bonny people are known to come from Isedani, lineage of the Kolokuma, and by default, the Opobo people are from Bayelsa State. Opobo is an original Ijaw town and the pride of the Ijaw nation. Governor Sim Fubara sprang from that untainted ancestral bloodline. As a blue-blooded Ijaw son who understands the principles of provocation and retaliation in Ijaw warfare, he will not fight against a benefactor unless prompted by divine justice. He will not also allow the house with all the structures to collapse over his head. The Asawana chant that Nyesom Wike referred to is a reminder of the fact that the Ijaws fight only justifiable causes. Ijaw wars are always against oppression, injustice, and intimidation. Asawana is never shouted to threaten anyone, but encourages youths to stand for truth and justice. That is why provoking the sleeping tiger into rebellion will be dangerous. Anyone who thinks the governor will sit back and allow enemies to capture him and pluck his crown is daydreaming. Chinua Achebe enlightens all politicians with a defense strategy in his Things Fall Apart. He wrote, Eneke debate says that since men have learned to shoot without missing, he has learned to fly without pitching. A word is enough for the wise. That was the statement by the Ijaw elders in defense of the suggestion by Nyesom Wike that Fubara is not Ijaw. They want to serve it to him clearly and to others who think like him that indeed Fubara is Ijaw. They have taken their time in that statement to trace the historical lineage of Fubara and also to lay claim that Opobo is Ijaw. Of course, many of us, we know that the King Jaja of Opobo popularized Opobo and made it a household name around the world because he was trading as far as Manchester. He was trading with red oil with as far as Manchester from the coastline of present-day Nigeria. Okay? He was a very influential person. But that doesn't mean because of that people from Imo State now became the most dominant people in Opobo. It's not likely to be so because the people that brought him as slave were really people of Ijaw ancestry and descent. They were the people in charge until he came there and they were in trouble, and because of his mastery of trade, he was able to raise enough resources to get out of their problem, and before you know it, he founded a kingdom. It's a story for another day. But that doesn't mean that Opobo is not what it is. Okay? And I will not be surprised that if you go to Opobo, as I said earlier, it's a potpourri of languages. But the fact remains that the Ijaws play a prominent role in what is happening in Opobo today. And by his name alone, I have no doubt in my mind that Sim Fubara is a Ijaw. Okay, and the Ijaw elders have also show that even his lineage is from a blue blood, you know. So but the important thing about this is for people to understand what our politicians can do to divide and conquer. And we saw how all these things played out in the last election, where all kinds of allegations were laid against Peter Obi when he was actually the one that ran the best campaign in terms of openness. He was the one that ran campaign saying, do not vote for me because of my ethnicity. Do not vote for me because of my religion. Vote for me because of my capacity to do the job. But those who campaign under religion, who ran Muslim tickets purely based on religious consideration, those we are being exonerated that they didn't run religious campaign. But it is Peter Obi that his campaign, his team is well balanced. He was the one that was saying, do not vote for me because of religion or ethnicity. He is the one that a whole lot of people were everywhere accusing him of running divisive campaign. Whereas the epicenters of divisive campaign, like Aswad Bola Metin, who ran on a Muslim ticket, because he believed that that's the only way he can be able to get the support of the North. And then himself that said, Aswad Bola Metin that said, it is my turn, it is the turn of the Yoruba. Nobody is accusing him of running an ethnic-based campaign. Nobody wants to look at him as running a religious campaign. But that was exactly what he did. So it's just to show you the kind of things our politician does. It is interesting and also okay that the Ijaw elders responded to show clearly that those who think that they can divide them by saying that Fubara is not Ijaw, that they have failed in their mission, that they know who they are supporting, and that who they are supporting is an Ijaw son. Okay, so that's it. So that mission to divide the Ijaws in Rivers State, to divide or to separate Fubara from his Ijaw people, that mission has obviously failed. And you can see that this statement was issued in Warri, not even from Rivers State, to show you how Ijaws have invested emotionally in Fubara in Rivers State to make sure that nothing happens to him. So it tells you a lot. So those who think that they can divide the Ijaw nation in this altercation between the godson and his godfather, they have failed. That is it. It's a failed mission. The Ijaw nation has shown that they are solidly behind Fubara. And thank you for watching this video. And please don't tune off yet. Watch the video as I sign off. That video is being circulated to indicate that Fubara is not Ijaw. As I said earlier on, I don't believe that because of this video that you're going to see now, that stops Fubara from being Ijaw. It doesn't add up. Okay, that's my take. Thank you for watching this video, and God bless you and yours. And please watch the video and tell me your thoughts. God bless you and yours.
Buruburu ndị Igbo na-ekele unu. The party chairman kwuola ọtụtụ ihe here. Ka kwesịrị ikwu o werela kwuo mmanya dị ihe ngegwe ya gba but were isi njem a bịara taa dị very important. Ọ ga-adịkwa mmasị nkwutukwa one or two things. Ụmụnne m ndị nwe m na ndị nwe here ihe m chọrọ ime unu asụ ọwụ ihe dum chairman kwuru unu were ndekọ dị mma ndekọ unu chọrọ ịnụ ndekọ ị na-achọghị ịnụ unu tụfuo ya.
Ana akụkọ dị aka ebe a
ugbu a godo butere ni biko UIC chairman or president o nyere a rundown ihe mere transfer between myself and the Gburugburu Ndị Igbo. Honestly speaking, I'm very, very careful na ndị mi na ha na-meet because mara say come in politics. Ị na onye na-achọ ọchịchị na-adọ ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị ndị wayo ndị gburugburu na-eyi nne na njem ọhụụ. So kwenye nshikọ ọhụụ ndị very careful na onye ọla bịara m ga-meet. But mgbe m hụrụ this body they confirm say this body with the authentic body they may control the affair of Ndị Igbo na Rivers State and Bayelsa. M say m ga-abịa si bịa kwụsị m mara sị na ndị mara agwa ụlọ si a the man ọ na-apụta a na-achọ ya achọ abụ ndị here now enwere ndị bịa bụrụ m ndị here now oh ya. So all those works were political. Ịma asa achọwa ihe so na ndị mmadụ a ga-ele ya anya but ọ dịghị ihe mere m n'okwu ụkọ m dị mma ya. Ihe m bịara taa ịkụrụ n'ọgwụ okwu ụka yiri nne because politics ndị na-ekwu okwu ụka na politics wụ ndị ụgha. That is the truth. Onye bịarakwa na politics na-etoro n'olu mma si na-arịọ olu otu olu si mee ya mbụ 2015 otu olu si mee ya na 2019 olu mee ya na 2023. Thank you.